not react to things. I love your energy. I think with someone, and we can't say any names, but with someone that we both know, like, such a sweet person, and the key to like preventing the behaviors and things is like asking questions, or almost having like a neutral mindset, almost observe without reacting. If there's any at all anger or disgust that individual feels, they become angry and irritated, and it's almost like a shame response. It's like he feels embarrassed, and I think about that, and I think most of my clients that I work with, including the ones that have been violent, are like that. Like, if they feel like you're judging them, that's almost worse than trying to tell them something what to do. It's such a, I guess we can we can get back to the, but just that's such a unique thing that I'm like learning. I'm still finding myself learning a lot, but I have worked with so many different kind of clients, and I work over 40 hours a week with those special needs.
Right. Yeah.
And it's been great.
That is pretty admirable, the time that you put in with that.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
It's reminding me of when I worked at a high severity clinic, and there were two particular people in that stood out to me. And again, no names or anything like that, but you find yourself using full safety care, restraint,
right,
to keep them safe.
Right.
With self-injurious behaviors or aggressions at the same time, and you find yourself in close proximity to them, with them spitting in your face while you're keeping them safe from hitting any part of themselves, even.
Yeah.
And learning how to, because that was a whole extra level of learning how to be calm.
I know.
So
true.
Just being able to talk like it's a normal conversation with a scream that's coming back at you.
Yes.
And piercing your ear, and you changing your mindset to interpret that as, okay, I heard your words, and if that's your so your response back is, if that's your concern, then let's work on that.
Yes.
And so
so good. Yes.
Another one that had he was really strong. Another one that was really strong, and this was a one-time situation where there were 6 people that had to help keep him safe.
Yes.
And it looked really chaotic, but I knew exactly what was going on and was kind of helping direct other people to, be in certain positions. And he kind of looked up for a second and goes, "It takes 6 people to stop me." And I said, "No, I'm sorry to tell you this, but it takes 6 people to keep you safe. I could do this all by myself, but it would not be very safe."
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's so good. So good. Yeah. I like that. That's, you have such a unique perspective, and how do you connect with someone? You touched on this, but how do you connect with someone who's having just a hard time or a difficulty regulating themselves? Is there something that you're like? I know it's like asking like Troy Aikman how he threw a football. He can't tell you, but how do you connect with someone who's having a hard time during the day or regulating themselves in that moment? Sort of what? Because I've seen you work. I've seen you. I know how you do, and like it's impressive. And Sean works with people who he makes it look easy working with folks who are violent quite often. I know. We're even in where we're in a work setting that we work. You work with someone who is violent, once every 2 or 3 weeks, and it can be scary to people at times. But how do you sort of connect with someone who's having a hard time or can't regulate themselves?
It's going to be different for each one of them.
Sure.
The nice thing about behaviorism is that it gives you a really good starting point, And knowing what they're trying to accomplish with their behavior
Got
is
it.
far more important than the behavior.
Wow.
And you can see that an example of that in lots of different things. Say a tantrum. A tantrum could be for getting their mother's attention. It could be for getting out of doing homework.
Sure.
It could be for not getting access to a video game. So all of these things are different things that we all need and want. So there's different levels. Need is definitely, something that's higher priority.
Sure.
We would never necessarily deny someone what their needs are, but we definitely want to encourage them to use safe and respectful behavior and words to reach that.
Right.
But knowing enough about that person, even if you just barely met them, trying to figure out what it is they're trying to accomplish with that behavior. And so again, they're being listened to. And so that is probably the biggest first step. And then you have to work through the details of what type and how much and the magnitude. I've had kids tell me that they want to earn something.
Yes.
And then the fact that you make them, you set an expectation of criteria that they have to meet.
Right.
To earn it. So you'll present it to them like, well, first we need to complete this, and then and I like to use the word we because I really enjoy the interactive things that they're earning.
Sure.
And like to be a part of that too, because that gives you a chance to pair with them and build that strength of friendship and trust between each other.
Yes.
But, I've had people that as soon as they earn something, you hand it to them and they're like chucking it because they're mad that you put an expectation on it.
Right.
And so, you learn how to adjust to those kind of things that you would have never seen coming.
Right.
So in that particular instance, instead of handing it to him, I would just set it on the floor, just barely out of his reach, and I'd say, this is what you said you wanted, and if you still want it, you can take it now.
Right.
And so you just adjust to what their preferences are, and that's where the element of people's their personality kind of varies as to how much control over things they like. And control isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just if you think of somebody who likes a lot of control versus medium versus low, you find the people that are like telling their friends what to do rather than asking them. Then you find the middle people who are sometimes that way, sometimes not. And then the other ones that are just like, okay, yes, I'll just go along with whatever, my friends say.
Yes.
So their personality kind of plays into that. And, if you work on giving them a sense of control and it matches what they like, then that is probably going to increase the chances. And behaviorism is data collecting, right? It's data driven. So we're creating objectives for them to learn these skills, and we're marking down whether they were successful. We practiced several times. How many times out of 4 or 5 times were you successful at doing it? And once you've shown them that the outcome that they want comes as soon as they've done it, then
Right.
they learn from that previous one. So they learn their future behavior based on the reward that they got and how
Right.
they got there. So teaching routine patterns, but then starting to widen it up to become what's called behavior classes rather than just a specific behavior. So you start teaching a lot more loosely and accepting larger definitions of what is going to be
Got it.
able to get them that reinforcement.
Right.
So behaviorism is like kind of taken over. I haven't read a book that's
Right.
not on behaviorism
Right.
since I used to read all sorts of different
Yeah.
things, and
Yeah.
I just haven't found the motivation to
Right.
pick up like a fictional book or
Right. Right.
anything for about close to 9 years now.
Yes.
So
That's awesome. You've taken a path to mastery in this realm, and what I want to know is how do you actually? Because I've seen the results, I've seen it work. How do you get people to actually listen? And I know it one's case by case basis, but how would you say you really get people to listen and heed your advice? Obviously, there's elements within everything that you've said, but sort of how do you get people to either know that they're being listened to, but also how do you get people to listen to you?
that always comes based on whether or not they actually see that it's working too, like I did. So we would call that buy-in.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't really like that term, but
Right.
I understand what it means. It just
Sure.
means that you're you believe in the process. You have seen examples of it working, and so you're willing to give it a try.
Right.
So probably trying to share things that are, personal experiences maybe, but in a way that for a fact is therapeutically appropriate,
Right.
age appropriate,
Right.
depending on who you're working with.
Right.
And just showing them, I've experienced that too. I have felt that too.
Right.
And things
Powerful.
things like from your past where you've experienced your, as you put it, I think you said facing your own mortality.
Right.
We all eventually face our mortality in one way or another, whether it's through our own risk to ourselves or risk to someone that we care very much about. And,
Right.
And so that that kind of leads to your value system, what you think is important, where you start to direct your energies towards, and so that's where you get something that's called in this instance buy-in. So if you want to see your family's cohesiveness improve, there's a really good chance that you can achieve that if you let us work with your child. So that's and I wouldn't say that if I hadn't seen it for myself.
Right.
And then of course I go home and say something like, my word.
Right.
After a long day, I get home and my wife will say something that I don't necessarily have the bandwidth for at the moment.
Yes.
And I got into this habit of saying the phrase, "Oh my word."
Okay.
And that right there was something that became triggering to her and I didn't realize it because I was like, I'm not saying anything mean. What do you mean?
Right.
So I was confused.
Right.
And she would just say, you better not say that to me again. And I still hadn't figured it out.
Right.
But eventually I figured out that it was her perceiving that I was being dismissive of her perspective, of
Right.
her needs,
Right.
whatever was going on with her.
Right.
And so I realized that I needed to, even something as simple as that needed to change to prevent that and to help keep the
Right.
relationship strong.
Right.
So
Did you, and I want to talk about more about your family too, because I think it's so impactful in sort of how we, when you're interacting with your family, how have the things that you've learned, help that, and sort of how do you merge, how do you keep your daughter and your wife, and what's practical steps and things you do to sort of work through challenges, because we all have them, and then sort of manage those things. What are maybe family things you do, or just at least mindsets and tactics that you try to employ in a positive way to sort of build those great relationships where you can, where people are going to have emotions, but there's a long-term relationship still there?
That is kind of hard for every family.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's the people that we trust will be there for us, even if we,
Right.
don't act very
Right.
kindly towards them
Right.
At some points in time, or we, have blow-ups over some other thing that might not even be related to them, but they feel
Right.
the tension of it.
Right.
So when it comes to trying to strengthen the family, keep it cohesive, keep it so that you have their like agreement, buy-in.
Right.
They're already bought in, honestly, for the most part, unless they feel like that they want to act out and rebel.
Right.
And then showing that you're still there for them even in those moments is definitely important.
Yes.
As far as being perfect, I am definitely not. I'd probably rather not
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
how I've.
Yes.
But each of those are learning moments, and
Right.
I can tell you and them that I will continually try to do better.
Right.
So again, being willing to be open to seeing others' perspective, allowing your children to grow but still be protective. I don't know, standing up for what you feel is right, but also not necessarily meaning that cuts somebody off unless
Right.
they decide that that's,
Right.
best for them.
Right.
But, being able to just understand that no does not mean never. So saying no right now does
Right.
not always mean it will never come
Right.
to be. It will never work out.
Right.
So, having a little bit of ability to, I don't know, it's from that point right there, it kind of comes down to time and healing and,
Right.
being able to, again, get back down to neutral emotions and come back
Right.
to the table to
Yes.
to face each other and
Yes.
and be able to say, I really want to work this out, and I haven't given up on us improving our relationship.
Right.
So
It's awesome. We're going to take a break. You can drink your water. And I can if you want. But yeah, we got time. And if you're ever wondering, so the main camera is this one. I should have told you this. So that's your main. So when you watch the clips in the YouTube, that's where you're going to be. But we still got time. We're having a good time. We're having a good time. But yeah, if you were wondering where I was looking at that. So I like to look.
Oh,
sometimes.
okay.
Yeah, that big. There's nothing on it. It's just a black screen, but that's what's recording us. It's kind of crazy.
I kind of figured, but it just looked a lot different than.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, so you can see what it's recording, but it's this little black camera, but it's not even on. So
Well,
kind of weird there.
I just keep looking at the screen behind it because I'm like,
Yes, I know. I had some questions about your travel too and stuff, and
oh, okay.
yeah, I know you like to travel. You mentioned that the other day. But this is already great. Like you've already drawn. I knew you would be so good because I just know you, and I was like, and you know what? Like, believe it or not, it's like people long for this. Like when you talk about the four things you see in like why a person does what they do and sort of what their modus operandi is to some degree. Obviously, we're complex, and it's not that. But like when you talked about that, it made like that's I think what I felt intuitively about like how this relates to everybody. You know, this kind of stuff relates to everybody because it's, you know, we work with adults with special needs sometimes. Obviously, you work with kids too, and so do I. But just like, so from them, we can see like, oh, this person's looping. They're looping on some sort of past trauma, or in a certain individual's case, he's learned to act a certain way because that's been a reward for him, or he can get what he wants when he expresses himself in a certain way, even if it's violently. And it's almost like he's stuck in that, 6-year-old self. But yet, the truth is, I have those same things in me, if I'm honest. And it's quite, there's always the shedding and the releasing. I've had other guests on, someone who I thought was very powerful, and they were like, and very successful, like financially successful business person, like, and they were like a lot of life. They weren't telling us as advice, but they were for themselves. Like a lot of my life has just been releasing things. That's how I've broke through. And when they told me that, I was like, wow, that actually makes sense, And it's very interesting how we are as people. And
yeah, and with the things that you've been through a lot. So, I can imagine that the strong emotions stuck around for a long time, and that's exhausting.
I don't talk about this kind of stuff, but it's like the blood cancer stuff never really leaves me, and I know that my mortality is up in the air still, but I think it's given me like a motivation and an ability to like push through my own fears or insecurities and do things that I don't think I would have done. I think it's freed me up. Like I think socially I'm more free. Like I don't. I love sharing, I love learning, and if people, connect with that, that's awesome. And at the end of the day, I have to live with myself, and I'm the one that's going to be on that deathbed, and so I kind of value what I think's right.
Well, I think it's working for you because you were the one who introduced yourself to me, and
yes, sir.
You were just being kind and inviting and
thank you, sir.
Casual,
yeah.
and just said something like, hey, tell me a little bit more about you,
right.
And showing interest in someone.
Right.
And I've since learned that you're that way with everybody, and I'm just very, very impressed with how that feeling of being freed up, it's like, why can't you talk to anybody?
Right.
And,
right.
It turns out for the, in a good way.
Yes.
Pretty much 99% of the time.
I always tell people I've done a little bit of coaching with guys socially, and just not really just getting out of their shell and talking to people, and people are shocked at like when you talk to people and you assume good intent and you share freely, and as you said, something you said earlier, which is you're kind of like you're the response that someone has to you is sort of irrelevant relative to is when you say something or put the good energy out there, and then how they respond, you just accept it and you don't worry. You accept it with love and just understanding, and they're really that does soften any sort of thoughts of like, oh, this person doesn't like me or this and that. It's just because you're going to accept them and how they respond no matter what, and you're not going to judge it. You're not going to judge yourself or their reaction. And over time, you get really good at just sharing freely and connecting with people, and it does open up certainly conversations and people's authentic self by when they sense that you just share freely. It does something to the brain. So,
Yeah, I would agree.
Let me get you something going here. All right. You love to travel. Okay. This is a fun question I have for you. Do you see any connection between places you've explored and like human behavior or human interactions? Have you seen? Do you have any tie to that? Would you say that you've? Is there any connection between exploring new places and then understanding human behavior?
Well, yeah, I think people are very much the same wherever you go. They have the same dreams. They have the same sort of methods for reaching their dreams. It's very interesting to me to see other cultures, though.
Right.
And also in kind of facing our own mortality, I decided personally and, talked about it with the family, and we decided several years ago that we wanted to have experiences rather than things.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
So we put our efforts towards making more travel possible.
Right.
And so we've been able to take our kids to several different countries, and just having some very unique and fun experiences, sometimes unusual to us,
Right.
that we feel a little awkward, but
Right.
Not threatening or anything like that, but
Right.
but just basically saying, well, I guess they do things differently here.
Right.
And now
Right.
we've got to experience their culture.
Right.
So
That's
but
funny.
but yeah, it's very, very nice to meet new people and be open to seeing if there's a chance of really getting to be really in where the locals are,
Right.
and a little bit away from, because the tourist stuff is fun.
Right.
I can't deny
Right.
that.
Right.
Wherever you go, the tourist
Yes.
places are definitely enjoyable.
Right.
But as part of that, we usually try to include some element of not planning a thing and just wandering.
Yes.
And we talk to the cab drivers, or we talk to people that are bus conductors or things like
Right.
that, and like, where would you go?
Right.
What would you want to see? What would you
Right.
what would
Right.
you do?
Right.
And just talking to them is very, very eye-opening,
Right.
and leads you down roads you would have never
Right.
even tried.
Right.
And by roads, I
sure.
mean literal roads and
Yes. Yes.
experience roads.
Yes.
So,
Yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. I got a few more for you here. What's a place that you've traveled that really maybe changed your perspective on people or culture? Is there anywhere in particular that you were like, man, this kind of changed my view of things or had an impact on you?
Italy.
Italy. Okay.
Yes.
I think I've heard you mention that one.
Yes.
I kind of thought that would be your answer, but
Yeah. So I don't know how much traveling you've done.
some. I've been to Canada. That's my
Canada? Well, you've been all over the U.S.
I've been all over the United States. I've been in North America my whole existence.
There's definitely a lot of people. So we've been a lot of places in the U.S. too.
Sure.
it's just as exciting to see new places in the U.S. too.
It is, yeah.
There's
I'm sure,
definitely,
Yep.
definitely. We were at a, I don't know what it was called, Rooster Days, in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and we had just decided we're going to do whatever they do around
Okay.
here today.
Yes.
So if we see an advertisement for something, we're going to it.
Yes.
And we ended up having so much fun. And we saw the baby pig races for the first time. And
Yes.
we tasted our first deep fried Oreo.
Right.
We tried some local fruit wine, and
Okay.
we were just talking, and they just
Right.
kept giving it
Right.
to us, and
Right.
and so then we were just sitting out on the grass, enjoying like a turkey leg or something,
Right.
and some other old couple comes up to us and goes, "Here's a bottle we bought."
Right.
The wine place, we wanted you to have it because you just seem so happy.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
and it was just like that generosity,
Right.
and was kind of contagious.
Right. Right.
So
That's awesome. Yes.
those kind of things are the
Yes.
kind of experiences that you don't just get to have every day if you
Right.
don't put yourself out there and
Right.
try something.
I've said like they say in Europe every 500 miles is different. In the United States, I think I may have mentioned that to you, but I've lived in 10 states, and every 500 miles is different. Just culturally, the people who settled the land are a little different. They have their own customs and ethnic backgrounds. So it's very interesting. It's a very interesting thing how we are as people and why we are the way we are. So.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay balanced between work, traveling, personal life? What do you do, Sean?
Well, I'm pretty busy, just like you are. So,
Right.
so I'm not sure if there's a lot of balance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I say I'm okay with it, I guess.
Yes.
So, whatever works for you as a person, I guess.
Yes.
I'm okay with either staying up late to do a report or to do a little bit of research, or
Yes.
even just to, scroll on my phone for a little
Right.
bit,
Right.
or wake up early to do the same.
Right.
I think I have somewhat of a routine, but I like to keep it flexible, so that
Right.
is what kind of works for me.
Yes.
But I would say, do what works for you to feel balanced. It sounds like you really enjoy being able to be feeling productive and
Mhm.
active and, a part of something
Yes.
for the majority of your day too.
Yes. Yes.
I would agree with that. Some
Yes.
people wouldn't, but
I love, like, even just now, I just learned something from you. You were like, I'm okay with, like, what a great mindset. Like, that really, like that just clicked for me. Like you're okay. Like, I'm okay with getting up, or I'm okay with staying up late. I'll get home and edit this video, and I'll be up all night. And I'm okay with doing that.
this is your day off.
Yes, well, my afternoon off, really, but yet I'm gonna work all night, and then, but like I'm okay with like what a beautiful way to like look at things, and it's get to not have to in a way, and it's like I'm okay. I'm okay with staying up late. I'm okay with working hard and stretching myself a little bit. Like I'm okay with it's cool. It's cool. Like I love that. What you just said is so powerful, and I think how you speak to yourself also matters. There's a lot of studies, and I know you know this, but I'm a Tony Robbins guy, and Tony Robbins talks about that. Like saying the word perturbed instead of pissed off changes your mood. If when you think about when you're like that kind of, if something quote unquote happens, something that could be perceived as negative, and you say I'm perturbed by this, you almost like as you say it, you're kind of like not even that serious about it,
Yeah.
as opposed to I'm pissed off. Then like you can feel I feel a visceral reaction in my body. And then like what you just told me was like, I'm okay with working hard and doing a report late at night. I've been there before, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm the same way. It's like, I'm okay with feeling a little tired because it lets me know I'm alive, and it's very interesting. I love that, what you just said. And when you look back, and I know you've done a different careers, but when you look back, what kind of impact do you want to have with those who you interact with in this role?
That's a really interesting question.
Yes.
Haven't really thought about that.
Yes.
So when I look back, I guess I would like to have some sort of indication. I would love to see what people's lives look like in the future. So
Yes.
I don't know. That's kind of a selfish side, I guess,
Right.
of it. But
Right.
I'm okay with being a little bit selfish in that and thinking,
Right.
that would be really cool to see what they do with their life. And,
Yes.
And even if things are still challenging for them, even after having learned behavioral concepts, learned to have coping skills, learn to have a chain of decision-making steps that can help them. Even if things are still challenging for them, I would still hope that their quality of life is at least a little bit higher,
Right.
based on
Right.
having been able to
Right.
help them at some point.
Right. Right. That's awesome. I never. You don't think about being able to see into the future very often, but sometimes I think we internalize, like, I want to know what's going to happen to my own, but to think, like, even the people, I think about, students I've taught 15 years ago, like, where are they now? What are they doing? Did they ever think about Coach Wright? Did they ever think about, Coach Wright and the stuff he said? Or is it just a memory of, it's fascinating to think about that. And it's crazy to think how many people we can possibly affect if literally, like, every interaction we actually presently try to do that web can go on for a long way.
Yeah,
And,
well, I'm sure you're pretty memorable to a lot of
thank
people.
you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. You're known to be so chill, and you mentioned earlier, but is there anything in high stress situations that that you sort of lean in on to sort of have that sort of chill mindset?
I'm not sure.
Okay. That works.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you might have to edit this part because
No, it's perfect.
I don't know exactly
It's beautiful.
what to say about
Yeah.
to maintain a chill mindset.
Yes.
I one time, I guess this could be a
Okay.
good way to explain it.
Yes.
And it's just an example. So I get to the center several years ago, and immediately I'm just being very, open and
Sure.
talkative with some of the kids that are already there, and one of them starts giving me insults about my breath, and I'm like, huh. He's probably right.
That's funny.
and I just took me back, and I was like, and he was one of those that was kind of a very good chance of having high severity, and it sounded like he was trying to bait me.
Right.
And I said, you know what? It probably does. And and I was like, so started covering my mouth like this, and I said,
right.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of one of my favorite teachers that I had in 7th grade.
Right.
And he had the most awful coffee breath.
Right.
And I could not stand within 3 feet of him.
Right.
But he was the nicest guy.
Right.
And,
yes.
just basically turning it into
Right.
something positive
Right.
and saying, acknowledging that
Right.
he might very well be right.
Right.
It was just kind of funny, and I guess basically being honest about
Mhm.
the situation, and
Right.
if he were incorrect, and I'd be like, that's not possible. I just brushed my teeth, or
Right.
just
Right.
being able to take
So
it in
true.
stride.
So true. I've worked with middle school students who, have a wide variety of behaviors, just even just in a classroom, and it is amazing when you do something like that, when you actually like just have a laid back kind of energy and aura and be like, yeah, you're probably right. How it will just like disarm the whole situation. Like suddenly the same person who's like known to like be combative when you're literally, with a 13-year-old, when you're just like, I could probably do that better. I appreciate you guys. That right there, even like the most hardened person, that, like after about 10 minutes of that kind of interaction, they're pretty much like, all right, I'm just going to go leave. Yeah, it really does. It's
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that in a while, but that is such a powerful thing of like that's such an effective. First of all, it makes your life better too, because you're not in this fight or flight kind of, I've got to get in it, but you're also just like, laid back and chill. And once the person sees consistently that you're like that, there's a flip switch there where the person's like, yeah, I'm just going to leave this person. It's insane. And it's,
that is true. My wife has done that to me too when I've been upset about something, just typical things like
Right.
around the house or
Sure.
something.
Sure.
And she'll just go, "You're right." And I'll be like, "Come on."
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me something to
Right. Right.
argue about.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling like
Yeah.
I want to argue, and then you just stole my thunder. So.
Yeah. Yeah. it's I know exactly
She's
what you
a
just
smart one.
described. Yes, sir.
She's definitely, she definitely makes me laugh and
Right.
keeps me in check sometimes, or makes me rethink things in probably a better way than I could have even done on my own.
Right.
She just got street smarts.
Hopefully she's watching this. If you're watching this, hello, Miss Waddle. Is it
Mrs. Woodall.
Woodell? Yeah, Woodell. All right, just a couple more questions here for you. What do you think most people don't understand or maybe get incorrect about autism? Big question there,
wow.
but
Well, when I was first starting out in school, they pointed out a lot of research that had to do with people as parents not wanting to admit that their child was going to have this
Okay.
or be like this
sure.
basically
Yes.
for the rest of their life.
Yes.
In not accepting that, or in what would later be described in further readings, was a sense of grieving. So it's grieving over an imagined future
Right.
of how their child's life was going to go,
Right.
grieving over the amount of effort that they were going to have to
Right.
put into just the basics and be repetitive
Right.
and
Right.
so there's counter research that shows when whatever you expect of someone is very likely to be met. So if
Wow.
you hold them to
Yes.
learning more, then the chances of them learning more is definitely higher.
Powerful. Yeah.
So that grieving process was really struck me as a hard part of how the families are, what their mindset is, and
Right.
whether or not they're going to even admit it in the first place, or just say, nope, we're just going to, we're just going to ignore it, or
Right.
something like that. And, that makes me wonder hopefully they have the skills, and, there's, as parents, I don't know if you've seen the what's kind of like a crosshairs sort of, X, Y axis of,
Yes.
of love and support versus,
I think so.
Structure.
Yes.
So structure is one axis and love and support is the other.
Yes.
And then that creates the 4 different types of parenting.
Yes.
So the authoritative parent who gives high structure and high degrees of love tends to be the most healthy, sort of mindset for the kids who are raised by those type of parents.
Mm.
And then, you have the other 3 quadrants where you have high structure but no love and support. So that's an authoritarian type parent. And so they end up having some sort of feeling of needing to find that love somewhere.
Got it.
So there's some backlash, and this isn't like absolutely universal. It's
Right.
just
Yes.
it's just increases the probability.
Sure.
If you have high degree of love and no structure, then that's the fun parent.
Mm.
And then the one that has neither is the uninvolved parent.
Mm. Yes.
So those, the home environment can, and the parenting style can. So we teach that. We have parent trainings as part of the kids' behavior support plans. The parents
Right.
are supposed to have goals too. And so, we teach a process of creating a replacement behavior for the one that they've learned
Right.
history. They have a
Exactly.
learning history that, this maladaptive behavior is going to get me what I want.
Right.
And so now, all of a sudden, they have this new expectation of choosing this other behavior to get
Right.
what they want.
Right.
And they have some resistance to it, but the more the parent sticks to the structure, but also shows them that they love and support their child, it's not just,
Right.
you're just going to do it
Yes.
this way, then that, balances it out and makes it
Right.
so that the child is much more likely to be accepting of the new
Yes.
teachings that
Yes.
the parent has for them.
That's awesome. And you're awesome, sir. You're awesome. One question I always like to kind of finish with, it's so cliche, but what advice would you, because there's people watching this of all ages, and what advice would you have for your, obviously you have children to give advice to, but what advice would you have for your 20-year-old self? If your 20-year-old self was listening right now, what would you tell them?
That someday you're going to be a lot more patient than you are right now.
Yes.
And the sooner the better.
Yes. Yes. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a great, I think we can, anything else you'd like to say? And anything you want to share with anybody? And you want to,
I don't know.
if you want to, well, thank you so much for watching this. It's been an honor. A world-renowned behaviorist right here, right now. And peace.